In a world where Hotline Miami exists and is the standard for games like this and is really great with solid tight gameplay and an interesting story, and we have games like Midnight Fight Express and Intravenous which are similar but do their own thing to the point that they are masterpieces in their own right. Well, compared to just the three I've mentioned, a game like Jackal is good enough. It's like a 7 out of 10. It's fun enough. I'll explain a bit. Gameplay. You start a level and you just have your fists and can pick up enemy melee weapons or guns and you can throw them at enemies. The way it's different is that you can do this kick that also dodges. Like a jumping Spartan kick that goes so hard that it can kick objects in the level into enemies which will stun and or kill the enemies. And you have spells. Time Shift was the only one I used because it activates slow motion. And honestly, how can teleporting possibly be better than that? Anyway, the melee and ranged combat works good, but I have had many moments in melee where I ask myself, I'm right next to the guy, why am I not hitting him when I should be? Maybe the hitbox is too tight for some melee weapons, or I'm just aiming bad and I don't notice. And when you hit with melee weapons, I feel that it lacks a satisfying punch. It should feel like full force punching a juicy cut of sirloin steak, but it feels more like slapping down a water bottle. In I Am Your Beast, you get an impact from your kills because the game slows down a little bit with every kill. And in Hotline Miami, there's a loud, gory sound and the enemy explodes in blood and falls to the ground. In this game, enemies just ragdoll to the ground and fall into the background. Like the color on them gets darkened, which is nice so that enemies don't distract you. I really enjoy that enemies ragdoll when they die, but in a chaotic game where things move very fast, you can't really appreciate it. But it's good enough. The sound and impact is good enough, and I found the shooting itself and its audio to be enjoyable. And the game has pretty good enemy variety. Normal enemy dudes, fast enemy dudes that dodge, and other fast enemy dudes, and then fat enemy dudes with more health, and then animals. Some of them are very fast and some of them have a lot of health, and like twice the developer put them right at the end of the level. And the first time that happened, it immediately killed me. I got angry. If I had to describe the gameplay in a word, it would have to be floaty or janky, because I feel like I just float through levels, like the movement and combat is floaty. And sometimes the same level is very hard and sometimes brain dead easy. And sometimes I don't hit a guy I felt I should hit. That's a melee problem though. The shooting works flawlessly. Oh, and also you can move the camera around with shift. With the dodge mechanic you'd think I'd zoom around the map shooting and killing guys rapidly, which you can totally do, but I didn't do that. I played like a coward, waiting at corners for the enemy to come to me, and then popping out and killing them once they're at their most vulnerable. I play like that because you die from one hit. Sometimes. Sometimes I can take a bullet or two and I don't die, but sometimes I die instantly. It's a bit inconsistent. And I hate restarting levels, so I play like a little bitch. But it is satisfying to win, and that's the genre in a nutshell. A love-hate relationship. Really frustrating when you keep dying in the level, and really satisfying when you finally beat the level. It gets that part right at least. So the gameplay is good enough. It's not some interesting new innovative way of doing things. It's just the standard done well enough with some new additions to make it a little interesting. Story. It's almost complete nonsense. Each cutscene is 5 minutes of a guy talking about the drugs he's doing, and something is kinda happening in the background. And also Anubis, you know, the guy from the Yu-Gi-Oh card. I think he talked about funeral rites at one point. I gotta be honest, my brain filtered out most of the story in this game. Because it's just a bunch of drug buzzwords, just something acid in my eyes, ketamine and other drugs, etc. It kinda sucks. The voice acting is good, but this is one of the worst video game stories I've played. It's got interesting ideas, like Guy does so many drugs that he accidentally contacts the gods, but 5-minute monologues about doing drugs are boring. And alright, I'll say it. I think drugs are lame, and the people that do them are boring and repulsive. And I'm tired of hearing about them and pretending that they are in some way cool. They are not, they are losers. The visuals in the cutscenes were decent. I feel like they overdid the vivid, druggy colors though. Yeah, the story is really weak. Conclusion. The gameplay is good enough and the story sucks. And I think that's the biggest flaw. Hotline Miami had a really interesting story with this mystery of the hotline at the center of it. Midnight Fight Express and Intravenous were really solid revenge stories with great gameplay. But Jackal's story is just nonsense noise. And the gameplay could be better, but it's good enough. Also, when it comes to music, I didn't even notice it. It just didn't register. So clearly not amazing, but not bad either. Just unnoticeable. Level design was also okay, not bad and not good either, just okay. Jackal is a good game to grab in one of those Steam bundles that are driving me into bankruptcy. But I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. There are better games similar to this. I recommend it if you can get it for cheap, like on a sale, $5 or less. I played it for like 6 hours, I got to the last level and said, yeah, okay, that's enough. I didn't enjoy it enough to finish it or try harder difficulties, and just wanted to move on to other games in my backlog. There are so many games to play. The competition is really fierce, and your game has to be really good to stand out. And unfortunately, Jackal didn't stand out to me. Jackal is a 6 to a 7 out of 10. This video was like a warm-up. Life was very busy and I fell out of the video making rhythm. Next time something classic or addicting or just simple fun. Until then, like and subscribe, call me Uncle Brian and have an okay day.